How many of you are prepared for an incident like this? Get my new book, Sheep No More, The Art of Awareness and Attack Survival, and I will teach you to think like an attacker so you can truly defend yourself. Don't just react, act. Available for pre-order now on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Sheep No More. Get it.
My name is Jonathan Gillum.
And this is The Experts. This is The Experts, and this is Jonathan Gillum. Sunk down a little bit so I can stretch my leg out, and we're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. It's Friday. It's going to be the Friday Night Toast. I'm not going to do this show as long as I did last night. I paid for that all night last night because of the way I've got this leg at an angle. It's at a better angle now. I got something under here, so I've got a cankle. I don't have an ankle on my right leg. I now have a cankle, so we're going to talk about General Flynn, and we're going to talk about what is he guilty of and why he pled guilty, what I believe and what my sources believe, and more importantly, why he pled guilty. Also, I want to ask everybody a question, and you can answer this by the end of the night on the tweets if you want to direct message me and tell me, but should police start targeting workplace sexual predators? I don't know. That's a big maybe. Let's go ahead and get started. How many of you are prepared for an incident like this? Get my new book, Sheep No More, The Art of Awareness and Attack Survival, and I will teach you to think like an attacker so you can truly defend yourself. Don't just react, act. Available for pre-order now on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Sheep No More. Get it. Okay, so real quick before we start, as you can see, I'm way back here because I got my leg extended and I got it up here. It's going to help out a little bit. Yeah, yesterday it was too much. I've got my frosty beverage right here. Make sure you go get your drink because we're going to do the Friday night toast. We're not going to be here quite as late tonight. And then also, what's my dog crying about over there? Come here. I'm wanting to show you. So I have cutoffs. Not cutoffs, but I have camouflage pants, and I cut one of the legs out so I could put it over this splint that I have. Let me see. Come here. Come here, Rico. Let me see if I can get him over here in just a second. I'm going to show you what I did with the other leg. Hold on. I can't move. He'll come over here eventually. So I made him a little camouflage vest. So we're going to have the Friday night toast tonight, and then I got a little special beer lamp that I'm going to light now that is courtesy of Jody Foreman that watches this show. So Kitty Kelly's saying the reception is crappy. It's looking good on my part. So hopefully it gets better for you there, Kitty. So real quick, what I want to start off talking about tonight is General Flynn. And okay, so it's all the news now that, in fact, let me just look at the headlines here real quick because I'm pulled up on my phone. That'd be even quicker. That General Flynn pleads guilty. I was listening to Shepard Smith today report on this, and you would think that General Flynn, here he comes, that General Flynn pled guilty to espionage with the Russians. That's not what happened. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. He stands right there at arm's length where I can't grab him. You want some of this? This used to work when he was younger. Want a treat? Now he just looks at me. Come here. Come here. He doesn't care if I'm crippled or not. I got to grab him by the ear. Come here. All right. Get ready. Here he is. Camouflage dog. Look at that. So he looks like his dad. He's got his camouflage on. Yeah, I know. It's tough. All right. You want to get down now? I'll hold you for a minute. See, that's what happens in the Gillum household. We don't just cut the pant leg off of BDU pants. We go ahead and we make a vest out of it for our dog. Right, dog? Say, that's right. Get out of here. Go lay down. Or do something. But don't poop. So, sorry if you were tuning in. It's a Friday night show. If you're tuning in to get serious news, it may or may not happen tonight. So, okay, so here's what the headline on Fox News says. Ex-general admits lying to FBI as Kushner and McFarland linked to Russian discussion. Okay? Look, here's the truth, folks. This whole thing is so ridiculous, I can't even begin to explain. After talking to my sources that I have, I'm not going to say where they're at, but they're in government. These are people in the know. This is what happened with General Flynn. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, everybody's been wondering, you read these headlines, you think that General Flynn committed some kind of espionage. Look, first and foremost, I think General Flynn never met him, but I think based on what I know from the news, which, again, that's hard to tell if that's the truth or not, I think that he did a no-no in not fully disclosing his relationship with Turkey and probably some other business dealings that he had, okay? That's one thing that he did. Set that to the side because that's really has to do with his non-disclosure agreement. It doesn't have anything to do with Trump. When you look at these meetings that they had with the Russians or anybody else for this matter, if it was the French, which they may have had meetings with the French, we don't know because nobody's making a big deal about it, we wouldn't have even known if it was just the French. But because it's the Russians, because the Clintons and the DNC have connections with the Russians, they could make a big deal out of it. And what they did was nothing illegal. It is not illegal for a candidate, for a senator, for a congressman, or anybody else to have a meeting with a foreign ambassador and discuss their potential of them being elected. What they can't do is go there and make deals on behalf of the United States government that would influence government right now as we speak. That is what's against the law. There's no sign that they did that. There's definitely, I believe, evidence that they met. Definitely evidence that they had conversation, and definitely evidence that somebody instructed Flynn to go ahead and do that, whether it was KT McFarland or whoever. There's no law being broke there. But see, this is what everybody doesn't know, okay? It has nothing to do with Flynn. This is Mueller, Bob Mueller. What Bob Mueller does and his reputation, and I'm getting this directly from the DOJ, Bob Mueller's reputation, I served under him in the FBI. He was a director, worthless director, had no clue what the FBI's role was. He only knows it from an attorney's point of view and from whether or not they can close a case and get good numbers. That's all Bob Mueller was concerned about. Taking a law enforcement agency that went out and sought out criminals and criminal behavior and stopped it. Bob Mueller turned him into an information and intelligence collection service. That's what he turned the FBI into, which is interesting because the people at that point in time that were using that information were the Obamas and the Clintons, and that should scare everybody. But basically, here's what Mueller does in the in the DOJ, in the Mueller DOJ. They will go after somebody like Flynn, who literally has nothing to. There's nothing there. It's nothing, and they will continue to pressure him because remember, the DOJ has a limitless number of attorneys. They got all the time in the world. They're like Al Qaeda or ISIS, or fundamental Islam. They'll fight that battle for eternity because it's not costing them anything. Taxpayers pay for it, and they got a limitless number of attorneys. And so what they do is they put attorneys on General Flynn, and they continue to pressure him. And look, General Flynn's probably put out $1 million because it's not free for General Flynn. He can't afford that. He's not a super billionaire. $1 million a year, or whatever it might be for attorneys. Eventually, one of two things are going to happen. You're going to lose everything you have, everything. So he sold his house to pay for his attorneys. So you're either going to lose everything you have and have your life destroyed, which is what a tactic that they use in the DOJ. I've seen it firsthand. Or you plead guilty. You plead guilty. But the only thing he pled guilty to was lying to the FBI. Because why is that? Because he didn't break any laws. Talking to people from other countries, ambassadors, and discussing the potential of this election is not against the law. It's not like they went out and waged war on behalf of the United States or made any type of political deals in response to the United States on behalf of the United States. They had discussions about the potential of the election process. Nothing against the law. So it's important for everybody to realize. I have intimate knowledge of this. I've seen it before, not only with criminals, but also with the way that the FBI and the DOJ go after their own and eat their own. They will ruin them because it's a bottomless pit of money and attorneys. They don't have anything to worry about. And so they'll put somebody in the line of fire, and they will just keep on them until they eventually exhaust all that person's money, so they plead guilty, and because they can't do anything else. Or the case just crumbles and the person is left with nothing. That's typically what happens. And that's what's happened to General Flynn. So before you go out there saying, all you liberals and I wish there were more of these people from Twitter, these weirdo. I've noticed that every time Sean Hannity puts something up, and he tagged me in something, comment that he made yesterday, and there's thousands of these weirdos come out there. And I don't know if you noticed this, but they all have like 3 followers or 20 followers at the most. And they all say the exact same quote. Where do you think I got the idea for the CQRF? I've been trying to get the Constitutional Quick Reaction Force together to do exactly what they do. If you go and look on Twitter and you look at when Sean said, coming up next, J. Gilliam _Seal, that's my Twitter name, to talk about Matt Lauer and political quote-unquote icon Connors, you would see literally hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of comments of the same exact thing. And that's because the leftists have a way of organizing and going about and directly attacking these people. I wouldn't doubt if a lot of them are funded. We don't have to be funded. I mean, it's free. Twitter's free. Take the time out, communicate with each other, and attack. You should be doing that with all these liberals and all these leftists. With Matt Lauer or Connors or Al Franken and all these people. You should be going after all these people. Nancy Pelosi, your own congressman when they do something wrong. We should be working together, and that's what the leftists do. They work together, plain and simple. So bottom line for this, before I get to the last part of this tonight, is General Flynn, to this point, is not guilty of anything except for, I guess, lying to the FBI, which in that case, I'm not really sure in a court of law that's going to hold up if he hadn't pled guilty. But General Flynn got trapped by the claws of Robert Mueller and the DOJ, and they don't look for justice. They don't look for truth. What they do is they go out and they squeeze a person for everything that they have until they say, I'm guilty, because they have no other choice. That's what they do. I don't have any other evidence that General Flynn is guilty of anything. That's it. So, with that being said, one other thing I want to talk about real quick. You know, people always talk about the sexual predators. They think of, you know, like the Jeffrey Dahmer types, or they think of people like a serial killer. You know, one of these, they think the evil looks like Freddy Krueger. Well, folks, I'm here to tell you that, if I can get this picture to pull up here, that's not necessarily the truth, okay? Sexual predators come in all sizes and shapes. They come in all sexes, believe it or not. If you don't believe that, you haven't been reading the news enough lately to see how many female teachers have been sexually assaulting young boys. And this right here, folks, this is the face of a sexual predator. Now, he probably didn't look creepy 2 weeks ago, but now you look at this face and you think, that's creepy. That's because he's a sexual predator. And when you look at what's being described of he's now being accused of sexually assaulting a woman. He's been accused of not letting people out of their offices. This is a sexual predator. Plain and simple. So they may not look like, you know, your typical Freddy Krueger killer in the movies. You know, I could put up a picture of Weinstein up there, and it's the same thing. He's a sexual predator. I could put up a picture of all these female teachers. Good looking. These women are pretty. I don't think I've seen somebody who was not attractive yet that's a female teacher that's molesting these kids. Strange. It's a strange thing. On the other hand, you see a male that has sexually molested a child, and they look like a pedophile. So there's something, I don't know, it's really weird. I know that sounds like a sexist thing that I'm saying there, but I mean, that's the truth. I could pull up all the pictures from the past 6 months of all these female teachers, and they've all been fairly attractive. And they're sexual predators. It doesn't matter how attractive a person is. It doesn't matter how creepy they look. You may find the creepiest person in the world. They may be the nicest, most giving, humble person you ever meet. You got to look at their behavior. You got to look at their behavior, folks. So I'm wondering if police shouldn't start putting together a dossier of these types of sexual predators and actually starting to put out information, target these people. You know, my book, Sheep No More, The Art of Awareness and Attack Survival, will help you determine these behaviors and what's normal and what's not. So you can look in your, there's different areas in your life where you could come up against a sexual predator and others that you're probably not. Okay. It's just the way it is. You go to a concert and you're up in the stands, or you go see a football game or a baseball game, you're less likely to run into a sexual predator that's actually going to attack you or that's going to do what Matt Lauer did, right? So there's certain areas where sexual predators are going to attack. There's certain areas where terrorists are going to attack. So you can kind of divide your life up into sectors and then really look closely at each one and determine where these people will be. But I think law enforcement really needs to start doing this. I really do. And I also think they need to start looking at the behaviors of women and men who make false accusations, and that should also be studied closely so that we understand that more as well. That's about it. Look, it's a quick show tonight because my leg's already starting to swell, and I'm not going to pay for it like I did last night. So I love every single one of you. Make sure that you share this show. Last night's show was a very important show. Make sure that you share it as well. If you're on Twitter, retweet them. And if you're on Facebook, or excuse me, on YouTube, see how many people we got watching over here on YouTube. 24. We never get above 24 for some strange reason. But I love y'all. And so what I want to do is I want to go to the Truth Zone, and then we're going to wrap this up, and we're going to have our Friday night toast. So stand by 1 second, and hold on. Stand by. And let's go ahead and do and I'm going to pull this up here. We're going to go to the Truth Zone, and we're going to do the Friday night toast. We have our beer lamp that we're going to light here. All right, so stand by 1 second. Just a second, folks. I got to take care of Rico real quick. Hold on. Hold on. All right, I had to take care of Rico there for a second. All right, he gets stuck. So let's go ahead and we'll go to the Friday night toast, and I'm going to turn the beer lamp on that Jody sent us, and then we'll go from there. All right. So I already did the True Zone thing. I think let's just do it again. Let's do this here. Ready? Here we go. Let's see here. How does it go? There you go. I'll play it again. So here we go. And what we're going to do is let's toast to all those people out there that have spent a week in pain and chronic pain. I said earlier in the week that I learned a lot about chronic pain just from having this, and though it's not chronic, I'll get over this. There's a lot of people that have this type of pain all the time. They've had back injuries, neck injuries, and it just never goes away. And so I want to raise a toast to those people, and to all the people that are around them. I hope that they support them and love them and take care of them. And that's a hard life to live. I've met several people that were like that, and I feel for those people. I really do. So let's raise a toast to all those that have the chronic pain. I pray that they will continue to deal with it, find a way to smile, maybe try ice baths. It's not going to make them feel better. What it's going to do, it's going to hurt worse. It's going to take their mind away from it, and they'll be in some kind of a weird cold bliss for about 20 minutes 3 times a week, plus you'll lose weight. That's how I've dealt with it in the past. So God bless all those, and we raise a toast to you. Let's go ahead and let's drink this. I'm not even going to try to drink it all tonight. Mainly that's because I I had a tube stuck down my throat on Tuesday, so I can't hardly drink anything like this. Let's go ahead and try to finish it. Listen, I'm toasting those with chronic pain. You know what this is like. One more try. I don't think we'll get to the bottom of it. I think that's good enough. Have a great weekend, Jody. Thank you for the beer lamp that we got now. And my prayers go out to General Flynn, because I really do believe he's getting screwed over in this. One thing we've learned from General Flynn and many others in politics right now, there are many weirdos in Washington, D.C., but there's also many good people that get caught up in the game of Washington, D.C., and it is a steamroller. But the more of us that stand together for the right reasons, the more we'll be able to help those people out, because we'll see reality. So keep reality in your mind, stay focused, and stand together. I'm Jonathan Gillum. My good old buddy there with his Rico with his camouflage coat is sitting right down there. I will see you all Monday. I'm not doing anything this weekend at all. And remember, wherever you see this face, whenever you watch this show, whenever you hear this voice, the truth has arrived. I'll see you Monday on The Experts. I'm Jonathan Gillum. How many of you are prepared for an incident like this? Get my new book, Sheep No More, The Art of Awareness and Attack Survival, and I will teach you to think like an attacker so you can truly defend yourself. Don't just react, act. Available for pre-order now on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Sheep No More. Get it.